Introducing the Open Palm Podcast with host Jerome Shaw, available today on your favorite podcast platforms. The Open Palm Podcast is a positive, uplifting, motivational, and inspirational podcast. The host brings his insight and philosophy, and you can't help but gravitate towards his smile, his words, and his wisdom. Again, the podcast he hosts is titled The Open Palm Podcast. It's about inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas and topics. He'll also help you become more aware and in harmony with your own life, giving you a better understanding of your place in the world and using your skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. You can find the show today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You can also connect with the host on Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's JROMESHAW on Instagram. Jerome Shaw with the Open Palm Podcast. Motivation, meditation, mentality. Go listen, download, and subscribe today.
The best way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. This is a quote by Walt Disney, and I believe it's a great one. It's one that I've paid for over the years, and it's one that eventually I really started to observe and take into consideration in my life. What do you gather from this quote, my friend? The best way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. You know, they say you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. That's number one, right? You got to get started. I mean, they say half the battle is showing up, you know, all these quotes in my mind of just getting going. You don't have to get it right. You just have to get going. A lot of us, myself included, over the years, I used to get so caught up and so hung up in procrastination, just never getting started. My mouth would run, my mind would wander. I was the biggest daydreamer ever, daydreaming of all the things that I could do, of all the things I wish I was doing. And there's nothing wrong with dreaming. There's nothing wrong with visualization. I mean, you gotta have vision. You know, that's what Helen Keller said, that worse than being blind is, you know, having sight but no vision. But when it comes to thinking versus doing, I believe that doing actually brings more manifestation, even though we know that thinking, I mean, nothing comes before thinking. Of course, we got to think about something before we do it. We think about things before we do them. It happens. Even if it happens instantly, we still had to think about it. The thought had to occur before a material manifestation in our reality. But just like Bruce Lee said, if you think too long about a thing, you'll never get it done. You will never get it done. So don't be like those people. Don't be like I was, always thinking and talking. Rather, once you get the thought, instantly turn that thought into action. Take action. You don't always have to consult everyone. You don't always have to research everything. You don't always have to be right. Sometimes just start. That's what great millionaires and billionaires and people of high esteem do. They just take action every day. They take action and they pivot. They take action and they correct. They course correct, right? Just like the Apollo rocket or a rocket ship. It's always course correcting. All the time, course correcting, just like a plane, course correcting the entire flight. You know, it's like less than 1% it's on its actual trajectory. It's always just course correcting via, you know, any turbulence, anything that it encounters, anything that gets it off course, just like a torpedo. It's just course correcting, but it's taking action the entire time. It's not thinking about where it's going. It's just going. Be like that. You know, be like the rocket that just gets going and keeps going and doesn't stop until it gets to where it's going. So many people, just like I was, stunt their growth by thinking too much and talking too much. But if someone were to observe you talking, they would observe you doing, well, not much. Also, if someone would observe you thinking, even though thinking is a wonderful manifestation power, they would observe you doing absolutely nothing. Just sitting there thinking, or just standing there thinking. It's not the thinking that actually gets that thing done, it's the doing. So, do as Yoda says. Do or do not. There is no try. There is no just think or just talk. Sometimes it's simply just do. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, the Open Palm Podcast here in San Antonio, Texas. I pray you received an encouraging message letting you know, like Walt Disney says, the best way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Start doing today, my friend. Share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And if this is your first time receiving this podcast, subscribe for more inspirational messages like this. And if you feel compelled to support, don't talk about it. Be about it. Head on over to anchor.fm/jshaw. Clicking that support button is much appreciated, my friend. Big shout out to everyone who continues to be a doer and donate to the podcast, making it possible for episodes like this. Have a wonderful and blessed day wherever you are, or night. And as always, my friend, take care.